An English explorer joined an expedition to the Himalayas. A local guide led them up a mountain that few people ever climbed. Roughly halfway up the side of the mountain, a member of the expedition came across a set of large, man-like tracks in the snow. "Yeti tracks," the guide said in a gruff voice as he passed them. "One thing you must know before we proceed. Do not, under any circumstances, touch the Yeti." The expedition heeded his warning and continued to climb the slope. Night fell, and the explorers set up their tents. In the dead of night, the Englishman awoke to the sound of his tent entrance unzipping. Half asleep, he looked up to see an enormous 8-foot Yeti standing above him. In fear for his life, the explorer jumped up and ran out of the tent, bumping into the Yeti in the process. The Yeti, after being touched by the explorer, let out a deafening howl and began to chase him down the slope. The explorer ran from the camp as fast as his legs could carry him. After rounding a corner, he looked back and saw the huge shape of the Yeti still chasing him. So the chase went on. He reached the bottom of the mountain in just 2 days, exhausted, and paused to rest. After only a few moments, the explorer began to hear the soft thud, thud, thud of heavy feet on snow. Looking up the slope, he saw the Yeti still coming, only moments away. The man took off again, reaching a supply shack a couple of miles away. There, he quickly bought a mountain bike and pedaled to the nearest town, some 50 miles away. The journey took several days over rough terrain, and after arriving, he booked into a hotel to recover. 2 days later, he left his hotel to arrange transport back to England. But as soon as he turned around, he saw the figure of the Yeti on the horizon, bounding towards him at great speed. Horrified, the explorer bought a car and drove all the way to Delhi. Once there, he wasted no time getting on the next plane to London. Back in London, the man returned to his home to rest and plan his next expedition. Less than 2 weeks later, while gazing out of a window, he saw a familiar giant figure charging down his street. The man was stunned. The Yeti had followed him to England. Again, he had little choice but to run. He used whatever he could, bike, car, even on foot to escape. But each time he looked behind him, the Yeti was never far away. Eventually, he reached Edinburgh and fled into the open Scottish countryside. He kept running, but the Yeti drew closer and closer until finally he could run no more. With the creature less than a minute away, the man stopped and turned to face it. Summoning his last strength, he stood tall as the towering Yeti approached. The massive figure extended one long finger, tapped the Englishman squarely on the chest, and in a low, rumbling voice said, "Tag, you're it."
Share a joke with your friends.